Hi, I'm Griselda Venum, and you're watching Orgasm Central TV.
So, how did you get started in this industry?
So I always was kind of like a kinky person, like even in my young adulthood, and at a young age, kind of already had an interest in sex work because I just was interested in it. I thought it seemed fun, like sexy, all that jazz. But like at the time, I was like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't get into that, like. So then I got a little older, had a professional career, blah, 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 married, husband left me. I was sick. I could not work at the regular job all the time. So I was like hard up for cash. So I was like, what the fuck should I do? I'm gonna make an OnlyFans, right? So that was like my real first dipping my toes into the sex industry. And so I did that for a little while and I wasn't like super successful or anything, but I made money, you know what I mean? I put gas in my car, I put groceries in my fridge when I couldn't work at my other job. So I did that for a while and like, on Twitter, that's kind of like the hub for all of us where we kind of funnel people to our paid sites and all that jazz. So I found out, through my research on, how to make money doing OnlyFans, I found out about this thing called Findom. So I'm like, oh, wait a second. Like, so I just be mean to them and they're into that and I don't have to. And I'm like, I'm going to try this. Like, this sounds like it's up my alley. So, I did more research and I found out more about it. And I did research into BDSM and I found that, a lot of chicks get into this, like, into this findom thing, but like, you really actually have to have knowledge about kink. So, I'm a big reader, I'm a big learner, I'm all about knowledge, and I go down rabbit holes, and kink is one big rabbit hole. So that just started my slippery slide down the slope into the world of fetish. And I just found that I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the people. Sorry, my dog's barking. Shh, thank you. Um, I enjoyed the people. I enjoyed it was like a social aspect. At the time, like I had some mental health issues where I wasn't really like socializing much. So I made a lot of friends, And at some point, I didn't really need the money anymore, and I kind of got tired of doing it. So I took a break, but I found myself still wanting to talk to the people that I had been interacting with before, So I stayed in a lot of like Discord servers that were BDSM related. Shh, good girl. Thank you. She is like a guard dog, so if somebody walks by my house, she'll probably bark. I apologize. If I try to like put her somewhere, she's just gonna whine though. So, all right. So I was still hanging out in Discord servers that were full kinky people. I got into this one server that was high protocol based, which is like a very structured, rule-based, elegant form of femdom. And it involves like master-slave relationships. And I think a lot of people think sex work is all about fucking and genitalia and stuff, but like there is this other aspect to it that's really like a creative aspect that doesn't always involve like overt sex, and it's more about service and elegance, and that I really enjoyed. So, I spent a winter not doing sex work, but still hanging out in these environments. And I found that it really suited me and I felt comfortable. And I kind of started to learn things about myself and my own dominance. And so, through those relationships, I met Madam Rabbit, who's a professional dominatrix in Vancouver. And I started a mentorship with her to become a professional dominatrix. So I spent about a year and a half, I think, in that. And during that time, I moved to a bigger city that was nearby where I was living and where there was kind of more of a client base for this. And I got in touch with the local dungeon that's been around since the 90s, 1994. Um, and I talked to the headmistress and I had to submit a resume and just like any other job. And I went and I talked to her and it was kind of an interview and I trained with her a few times. And because of my other career experience, she felt comfortable where I was at. So I just started doing sessions and I've been kind of growing my career ever since then. And this is my second year as a professional dominatrix and I'm just trying to just keep leveling up.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I know that's kind of a long story, but it was um, a long process because, some of us get into this as like a survival sex work, and then others, we kind of take it a little further and we make a career into it. And so that's where I went. But I actually left for a while, and the reason I came back was I had a submissive that found me on like my vanilla Instagram and he said he had been dreaming about me for a year and that I needed to come back to femdom, that femdom needed me. And so I was like, all right, fine, I'll go back on Twitter. And then it's just been a wrap since then. So
So, what do you love most about your work?
the people, like I enjoy the creativity of it. I like designing really elaborate scenes. I like being an actress. I like dressing up, which I'm actually a super like kind of tomboy casual person on a daily basis. So for me, the dressing up part of it is like a, once in a while thing that I don't do on a regular basis, but it's my way of expressing that without honestly being uncomfortable in high heels all the time because I don't really want to do that, but I like doing it once in a while. I like that. I've met people all over the world. I was just checking my website yesterday and there was like people from 53 different countries have visited it. And I haven't spoken to all those people, but I've certainly spoken to a lot of them. Like I met you, I've met Madam Rabbit, who's become one of my best friends and closest. I would consider her family, we're leather family. If I need help with something, I go to her. She's kind of like a surrogate mom and or sister or something like that. I've met a lot of friends. I've made friends in the kink community in Cleveland and around Ohio. I started throwing parties, which has been pretty fun. Um, I love it, like it's a really fun job. I don't dread going to work, which it can't be said for all careers. And like worst case scenario, I just have to like put on lipstick and put a little effort into that. And other than that, it's just a fun time for me.
So, what was your favorite scene to shoot?
Well, so when I say scene, I don't always shoot them. Do you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
as far as I do sometimes, I definitely do make content and have paid sites that have that, but primarily my focus is in like live interactions. So mostly I'm hired to do those type of scenes, but as far as filming, there was one I just did independently where I took one of my submissives and I tied him to my pool table and I like played pool with his testicles, which was pretty fun. And I like jumped on top of the pool table and smacked him around, and it was just a fun, thing to do, regardless of whether I was filming it or not. But yeah, as far as live scenes, I did a 6 hour like immersive abduction slash prisoner experience for someone recently, and that was really fun. And I actually like switched characters multiple times in it. So I was Griselda Venum, I was a doctor, I was like a kidnapper, like aggressive, like hired, you know, gun type person. I dragged them out into the warehouse and chained him to a fence and scared the hell out of him. She cried. I beat her with her own shoe. It was just fun, And then I think the key to it is all about kind of being able to read people and see how they're responding to you and stuff. But yeah, it's just playing, like it's just playing in the dungeon. So
So, are you like trying to work with other studios?
Yeah, I would in the future. So like right now I'm doing this and I still have like a professional vanilla career. So my like thing that I need to work on, which I have some plans coming up soon, but I'm going to take a break from some of that because things are going well with this. Um, and I would like to travel more. I need to kind of like network more with production studios just because that's not like the part of the industry I guess that I have worked with much. But one studio that I would really like to work with would be House of Sin, which is Azada Sin's production company. I would love to go to Romania and go to the House of Sin and film with them. And, hopefully one day that'll be on the agenda. I just have to get, earn my keep and get my way there. But I'm sure there's other like femdom studios that I haven't heard of. I'd honestly like to produce more of my own content. And I anybody who sees this that you want to shoot with me, shoot me an email, content creators as well. I would like to work with more, especially female content creators, in the local area, and I'm hoping to do that. I do a lot of the people that want to film with me are submissives that are really just like looking to see me in person for a discounted rate. But I'd like to work with more creators and film more with them, probably more with the other dominatrices at the Red Door. Because we just actually brought a couple new ones on, and once they get their feet wet, I'd love to shoot with some of them too.
Huh. So according to the 2022 Free Speech Coalition, 46% of adult workers have been restricted on services like PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. 36% of adult performers have lost at least one bank account. 55% have been denied insurance because of their background, and 50% have been denied a loan because of sex work. What do you think of those stats?
So, to get on my political soapbox, debanking is a form of punishment that's used to stop people from participating in things that actually aren't illegal, right? So a lot of the pressure on the that goes down to the payment processors comes from the credit card companies. And I'm not an expert on this topic at all, and I haven't had a lot of personal problems with it. I think the only thing I've lost so far is a PayPal. But we all kind of inform each other like which processors are more sex worker friendly. The reality is that a lot of them are not, and they will absolutely shut your stuff off. And we've seen debanking used even in like American politics as well, to silence people, to stop them from um, activating, to stop them from raising their voice or getting things done or working or doing what they believe to be the right thing is by taking away their bank accounts. And I think that should be like as seriously illegal. I mean, I think I don't know if it is. You know what I mean? Like, how legal is it? How illegal is it? I don't know. I'm sure they're bending rules, but to me, that's like in modern times, being able to have a bank account is essentially like bordering on a human right. And when you take away somebody's ability to do business, you're completely disabling them. And additionally, you're increasing, the likelihood of them entering the black market. So here's the thing, regardless of whether banking institutions try to stop us, sex work is the oldest profession in the world. It will still go on. In fact, all it's going to do is, it's going to cost us more to do business, and it's going to go more underground, but it's never going to go away. So I just don't really see the purpose in it other than just like most sex workers are not engaging in um like anything that's hurting anybody else. Everything's consensual. At least that's the standard for people that are legit in the industry. Now, a lot of these laws have been created to stop sex trafficking, which is a legitimate concern. But there is a huge difference between somebody who is a consensual worker in the sex industry, in the porn industry, in the fetish industry, and somebody who's being trafficked against their will. And laws like FOSTA SESTA kind of conflated those things, and it hurts people who are just trying to make a living, and it doesn't really do anything to stop human trafficking. So why are we doing this? That's my opinion on that.
Right. So, what do you think people can do to help sex workers?
Pay us, buy our services, treat us with respect as well. You know what I mean? Like, if you even if you don't want to subscribe to a website or pay hundreds of dollars an hour for a session or whatever, buy them a coffee, whatever, like show your appreciation. If somebody's putting in the effort, like making pornographic content is not an effortless process, right? Like there's definitely some aspects of it that are fun, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. There's a lot of work that goes into the editing of it, a lot of off the stuff you don't see that goes on behind that we spend time doing. So, we appreciate when we get financial compensation from our fans, because there's a lot of people out there that are trying to rip us off, that are trying to essentially violate our consent by taking our material, our content, seeing our bodies without paying for it on top of that. And a lot of these people are extremely misogynistic and aggressive and abusive towards women. So it's really nice when the people who appreciate us throw us a bone. It the $5 coffee, it might not mean much, but it's nice when I get that from a person, just as like, hey, I just wanted to make your day brighter. It's a really nice gesture. And then as far as the respect goes, uh we're working, you know what I mean? Like we're not there to just entertain you for free all day. We're not uh we're not there to be abused. Like, I think probably in the femdom arena, probably more of us are good at sticking up for ourselves and eliminating clients and buyers that behave improperly towards us. But, I want to speak up for those who don't market themselves as being somebody who trains men to be obedient and say, it doesn't matter if she's showing you her body or if she's acting like a slut or whatever. She is a human being. So like you know what I mean? Like if you have agreed to objectify somebody for money, that's one thing, but you don't just walk into somebody's inbox or email. Don't send your dick. We don't want to see that shit. Do you know how many fucking dicks I've seen in my life that I didn't want to? You know what I mean? Like, stop. Stop doing that. I don't know why you guys think that's like effective in any way. Like, no, it's inappropriate. It's not acceptable. So,
Yeah, I might ask first, but I,
yes, and that's the thing. Like, it's not that you can never do that with a sex worker. Obviously, like that happens. We get paid for that. Or, we also have relationships. Sometimes we're actually attracted to somebody, things like that. But if you just walk into my DMs, I don't know who you are. You're not my client. I don't know you. Like I don't, Snapchat is the worst. Are you on Snapchat?
no,
Oh
God,
my God. So Snapchat's a worldwide app, and like so I experiment a lot with these apps and just like see who comes into my DMs and stuff and how it works. And I will get like 100 requests a day, and then like 50% of them are just random men who I don't know sending me videos and pictures of their genitals. And I don't understand the obsession. I don't understand the obsession. I don't know what they get out of that. It must be a specific kind of fetish, like sending photos, or either that or they don't realize that the other person doesn't want to see them. I don't know if this is an issue of they get off on the fact that I'm a stranger and now I have to see their dick, or if they really don't realize how offensive that is. Like, I don't know how you couldn't, but I really don't know, but it's awful. Snapchat's horrible. I'm sorry, Snapchat. I've made a little bit of money on Snapchat, but sometimes it's just not worth it. I start to get really agitated. Like it's really rude. Like I just don't understand why people do that. Why do you guys do that? I mean, not you, but
what?
why do
But
you speculate?
okay, well, first of all, Snapchat. It sounds like it's an app. I'm pretty sure that's an app for just children. So he probably got a bunch of little boys just sending you shit or no?
No, these are adults. The
Is
majority of
there?
them. If I get a picture from something that looks somebody who looks like they're underage, obviously that gets blocked because my content is not meant for underage. Not that I put explicit content on there. I'll have a photo that's not explicit, but no, that a lot of these are grown men.
Okay. Well, I mean, if they're okay. But anyway, even if you're on Snapchat, I'm gonna assume, even if you're like 35, you have the mentality of a 7-year-old.
That's true.
And then if you're on Snapchat, but men do it because we just think that maybe this woman's gonna be impressed by it and
Um,
go for the bait. That's what we just assume, and it doesn't usually work out. Like 99.9% of the time, it doesn't work. But then there's that 1.1% where maybe it might work, but that's a slim chance. That's how men think.
you guys need us, don't you? Because no, that it doesn't work. It's no. First of all, most women aren't, we're not as visual as you guys are. So like the effect
Yeah.
of you sending us that in the inbox is not the same as us sending it to you. It just doesn't work like that. Women look at other things for whether they're attracted. But yeah, here's my message to anybody who sees this interview. Stop doing that. It doesn't work. It's a rude, it's offensive. It is, don't do it. Do not send, ask first. So if somebody wants to see it, they gonna tell you. Just assume
Yeah.
they don't, though. Assume they do not want to see anything that you wouldn't walk out down the street with. Just don't.
Yeah. Yeah. But what makes you stand out in this industry?
Um, Probably just be like, I'm very much like my authentic self.
Yeah.
Uh, I think my clients seek me out because on top of being like attracted to me, they're attracted to my mind, which in the BDSM industry, I think a lot of it's about the mind rather than the physical, although the physical becomes part of it. And I think like first of all, I have like a background in another industry that makes me have skills that maybe other sex workers don't have because I've worked in healthcare a long time. So they also trust my ability to keep them safe during stuff that could be dangerous because the reality is that BDSM can be dangerous and you have to use risk assessment and safety. But also I just treat them with respect from the jump. Like I don't immediately degrade people. Like some I've witnessed a lot of it where with the Dom just behaves that way towards anybody who they talk to while they're in that Dom persona. And that's not what it's about. You also have to be a good businesswoman. You have to be a respectful person. You have to be able to network. You have to be able to work with other creators. You have to be professional in some regard. Like it's awesome. It's an unregulated industry. I make my own rules, but I still conduct myself like a business person. Um, so I think that that stands out. And I also have a lot of education too. I have 2 degrees and I'm almost done with my graduate degrees in psychology. So, in applied behavior analysis. So I think I have a lot of knowledge about the human brain and sexuality and how our subconscious mind affects it. So I think that's something that's pretty appealing about me as a dominatrix. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty good.
So how do you want people to remember you in the industry?
I want to be remembered as somebody who spoke their mind, had integrity, um, stood up for what was right. I'd like to, one day I'd like to be iconic. I'd like to, create a brand and a persona and um, an experience for people with parties that is unforgettable and that they'll remember for the rest of their lives. I want, you know, um, I'd also like to meet a lot of people and be in circles with the most powerful women in the world. Like that's my goal. I'd like to leave a legacy. I'd like to help other women. I'd like to, hand down the knowledge that I have to others in the future so that we can become stronger and more capable and more independent as women.
And one last question. Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
I'm kind of the type of person who I don't like make a lot of concrete long-term plans. Like I have like a concept of goals. But I also know that life doesn't always work out the way that we plan, and so we kind of have to roll with the punches. So I kind of get in where I fit in. But so far, I'd like to travel more, work more internationally, which is on my agenda for this year. I'm going to London to the Femdom Ball in October. I'm going to meet a ton of people there, I'm sure. I want to film more. I'd like to get into production. Um, uh, I'm building a dungeon space in my house for, my personal submissives and to film in. And eventually I'd probably like to like maybe move to a bigger city. Madam Rabbit and I have kind of like a 10-year plan to eventually have like a compound of some kind. But it's just a, general plan right now. We don't have any concrete stuff set down, but it's all just every day doing one more thing to get there. And hopefully that's how it goes. I'd like to also mentor people in the future, but right now I'm focusing on my own career and honing my own skills so that I have valuable information to pass on to others.
Tight.